Living in the big city. Nah, it ain't pretty. Living in the big city. No, it ain't pretty. Living in the big city. I saw you there the whole time. My name's T, brother, and I feel that if we're gonna be building up our rep making these videos, that we have to start saying what we went through, you know, our backstories. So I've encouraged the entire gang to do this, and we're starting off with me. So, grew up right here in Milwaukee. Didn't have a real dad, you know, he just wasn't in the scene. So that doesn't really spell good for most kids. Anyways, just high school, started getting into drugs, just pretty much thug life since I can really remember.
My name is Big Mike, or Mainstream Mike. I was part of like an average family. I was average child until my dad started beating me when I was 5.
You know, my entire life I was trying to get into a gang, but most of them turned me down. The worst experience by far was I tried to join this one gang. I was down in Chicago. I wanted to get in because they had the best rep in town, just by far the best rep. So I went over to them, and they said for my initiation, I had to rob someone just walking down the street. And that entire day, the only people that walked down the street were old ladies and children. I just couldn't do it. No, I pretty much would do whatever it takes, but when I was a kid, I was getting beat up by this one school bully, and this old lady came to my rescue, him and some of these other kids. I didn't even know them, but after that, I can do most anything, but I can't hurt old ladies or children. Not after that.
10 years later, I started beating him.
After the West Chicagoans saw that I didn't have the guts to do it, they beat me and left me to die on the streets of Chicago. That was the day that I vowed to make a gang that was far superior, had a much better rep than they did. That was the day that I created the big city. And when I started the big city, my life started going upwards, but it didn't happen too fast. Starting it was pretty slow. So, you know, no one was really ready to join, so while I was walking the streets of Milwaukee, I met this retard that was wandering around by himself. You know, that's Mainstream Mike. I felt really bad for him, and he didn't have anywhere to go. So I decided to make him an official member. Actually, the very first official member besides me.
The moment I met T-Brother, I knew we were going to be friends. He was my first and only friend. Ever.
A little while after I met Big Mike, or Mainstream Mike, we kind of switched between the two. I met Philip. Now, he was the first cool member of the big city. First one that really got into it besides me. He's a real valued member.
Fuck my life.
I don't think the big city would be what it is today without Philip. I mean, just his overall enthusiasm towards the group, and he's been just such a good friend to us all.
I fucking hate these people. They don't even know my goddamn real name. It's John! Not Philip, John! John David Barwin!
I gotta say, I wasn't feeling very good about this at the beginning of the day, but it just feels a lot better just get it off our chests, you know? I'm just feeling optimistic, I guess. You know, I really think things are looking up for the big city finally.